Erev Tov, good evening everybody. Please feel comfortable to go have tea, coffee, or go upstairs for a bite. We know it's Parashat Pikudei. I would like to explain a little bit about this week parasha. We know that there is 5 books of Moses, right? Each book is corresponding to a sphira. So if we are, those of you familiar with the sphirot, so let's say the book of Bereshit is corresponding to the sphira of Keter. The book of Shemot, right now we're finishing, is corresponding to the sphira of Chokhmah. So that's mean if we read the last, we read Pikudei, okay, Vayakel, then Pikudei, then we're finishing now a sphira, and as we're gonna go Vayikra, this is Bina, as we go to Bamidbar, that's Anpin, and then Dvarim conclude everything, so it's Malchut, it's the manifestation. So the Torah is not just a coincidence, it's 5 books. There's a meaning to it. There's no just by mistake. There is 52 parashot, which is 10 for Gan. Gan Na'ul, Ahoti Gan Na'ul. The Gan, the whole idea. So everything has a meaning, and we have to be aware of that meaning. Now, I chose for you a few sections from the Zohar tonight, and hopefully you will be able to use it, to find it useful, because the Torah itself has many aspects. The one aspect of the Torah, it's intellectual. It's helping you understanding about yourself, about life. The other aspect of the Torah is more magical. What is the magical part of the Torah? It says that when a person is born, he's born with the Yetzer Hara. He's born with the evil inclination. What is the Yetzer Hara exactly? Very simple, in a simple language, in the street language, is ego. The ego itself, this is the Yetzer Hara. But the ego is actually make you survive. Without ego, you're not a human being. Ravash like right that the ego itself coming from Tselem Elokim bara oto. When Hashem said that I will create the human in the image of God, the image, it's already an ego because you're special, you're unique. You've been created by God, so you have to have an ego. Depends how far the ego go. If the ego is your foundation for your existence, it's a necessity. This is how you're going to survive. If you're selling a shirt and you don't know how to ask for the money back because you have some ego issue in a minus way, you don't feel you deserve the money for it, that's a problem too. Because you don't believe that God created you in his own image. But if you believe you created in his own image, you have to charge for that shirt. Okay? You have to charge for that shirt because you, as been created by God, just created a shirt. Now charge. How much you want to charge? Of course, there is chukim, there is halachot, the shishit, there is all Shulchan Aruch on that, how much you're allowed to charge and how much you shouldn't be charged. But let's say you want to charge $2,000 for a shirt. I heard today for the first time that some people go to a shop of clothing and they can spend more than $25,000. I didn't know it exists, but I guess it is exist. I didn't know. I saw expensive shirt, I saw expensive jacket, but there is more than what I thought exists. They actually go and that's what cost. So I said to the president, start laughing. I said, well, if we calculating the money being spent in the last 35 days, we're talking about $110,000 with the jewelry and everything being invested. I said, that's a good investment for maybe 1-bedroom apartment for another 10 years. I mean, if you keep that money. We both start laughing. But some people feel it's worth the money to go buy that shirt, to buy the jacket, to go buy a certain thing. They think that's what it's worth. Now the question, when you charge for whatever it is, do you feel it's worth it? Or you just want the money of the other person? It's a question you have to ask yourself. When you charge it, you think that's what it's worth? Or you think truly that you can make, some money from another person, which is greed, which is not allowed. So it all depends on where is your mind when you do what you do. So it's everything, like in the old days, in the 90s, used to be in every corner a shoe shine. I don't know if you remember. Wherever you go, there is shoe shine. It used to cost $1, or it actually was free. And you give the tip. You give the guy a tip, and that's it. So he believed, the guy who shine your shoes, believe it's worth $1. Okay? You cannot help yourself. You believe it's worth more than $1. So you're always going to give him 5. Okay, so what is the real worth of things is whatever you think that you deserve for that, but it doesn't come from a place of lack. It doesn't come from a wrong place. Pikudei is building a Mishkan. What's the worth of the Mishkan? How much is truly the Mishkan worth? What is it? What is the Mishkan? Why is it so important? After all, The Mishkan eventually was just a sample of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, the Bet HaMikdash. And the last time it was built, and it was in a place in Israel called Shiloh. Those of you who want to know where it ended up, it was Shiloh. Shiloh is not far from Shechem. I don't know if you've ever been there, but actually there is a very nice village that belongs to the Breslev, and it's a village with all the rabbis, and it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and it's called Shiloh, you know. So Vital and Transformation, our non-profit, helped that village and every village around it to protect itself after October 7. Of course, every place reach out to us and ask Debbie and me if we can help for them to have shield, to have different things that they need for the Yeshuvim. And of course, we're going to help, and we will help even more because it's very important to explain to us the situation. But think about the Mishkan for a second. The whole idea of the Mishkan is eventually not to last. And God is teaching us to respect the Mishkan. God is teaching us to take it very seriously. There is all about the Mishkan. So the whole parasha is just about the Mishkan. Last week parasha, Mishkan, Truma, about the Mishkan. We keep studying about things that will not last forever. It's things that not going to last forever, and still it's important. So tonight the subject was build your future. If you remember, those of you who get the note, how to build your future. And the idea, you should ask yourself this question. Do you know to be in the moment? Do you have it in you? Do you know how to be in now? Not without planning, without looking in the phone and saying, okay, let me plan the next 5 minutes and let me cry about the last 5 minutes. Okay? In Judaism, if I'm not mistaken, Masechet Brachot, it's written like this. Ha'avar ayin, ha'atid adayin, ha'oveh ke'eref ayin, da'aga minayin. Meaning, translating it into English, Avar Ayin, which means the past is already gone. The future is Adayin, meaning the future is not yet here. Ove Ke'eref Ayin, the moment now, it's like gone. The present is like gone in a second. Da'aga minayin, why are you worried? Da'aga means worry. Why are you worried? So, why would the Talmud teach us that? It's one of the things in Judaism is to be in the moment. It doesn't mean that being in the moment is the only thing. And that's why when we read consciousness like the power of now and to be only in the now, it's not good enough in Judaism. Not good enough. In Judaism, we have tshuva. What is tshuva? About the past. What is atid? What is future? Yekabel ala atid, meaning a person has to accept about what's coming in the future. And in the present, when a person prays, he has to be in the moment.
But the future is not promised to no one.
Yeah, but from a point of behavior, not from a point of knowing. From the point of behavior, yekabel alatid, meaning when a person starts a spiritual journey, he has to be accepting that in the future he behave a certain way. So past, future, present, and the Mishkan, present. Mishkan was in the present. So what the Mishkan come to teach us, what Pikudei come to teach us, you gotta learn how to be now, in the moment. So let's describe for a second, just play with it a little bit. And let's say you are sitting somewhere, in a wedding, in a Brit Milah, Bar Mitzvah, synagogue, praying, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. What are you experiencing at that moment? Are you experiencing your past? Are you experiencing your future? Are you experiencing the moment? And what is this moment reflect on the past, on the future? So if you have a bad experience, is it bring something from the past? Or it's just bad experience now? This is something every person has to start asking themselves, otherwise we are not alive. Awareness means that we are alive. Awareness, being aware of why I think that way. Why am I talking this way? Why am I upset? Why am I sad? Why am I jealous? Why am I angry? Why? Everything has to have a why. The why give birth to an awareness. Awareness gives birth to us being control over our life. So the whole idea of Pikudei, reorganize yourself. Now, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the Zohar choose a certain path to go on, and I'm going to read it together with you, and to see where it's taking us, and that's what I want to share with you. When it says Ele Pikudei Mishkan, okay, Ele Pikudei Mishkan. So I'm going to take you to verse 18, Yudchet, and look what it says. The question that the Zohar asks, why we do Pikudei Mishkan? Pikudei meaning to count. You bring in a CPA, you bring in accounting, and we start counting to see what's going on. We want to see the track record, we want to see the data. What's going on? So look what the Zohar says in Yudchet. כשנעשתה כל העבודה, when the Mishkan was built, like in ראש חודש ניסן, היה צריך משה למנות הכל. Moshe has to calculate everything, becoming the new CPA of the Mishkan. Why? כדי שלא יאמרו ישראל שנשאר כסף וזהב. The Israelite might say, hey, maybe he has some leftover of silver, you have a little gold aside, ועומד לקחת אותו. And maybe Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses has some agenda to take some gold for his family, a little silver, keep it for the grandchildren. ועל כן היה צריך לספור חשבון לפני ישראל. How did he count it? In front of the people of Israel. משום שכתוב, והייתם נקיים מהשם ומישראל. So, question, Moshe Rabbeinu, we talk about Moses, talk about leader. Now we understand what I said last week. If you have a Jewish wedding, you have to have two witnesses. Why two witnesses? If two Jewish people agree about the same thing, it's got to be right. We have a little issue. We need to learn, that it's okay. And look at that. משום זה כתוב, אלה פקודי המשכן, משכן העדות, כי רוח הקודש הוא המלכות הנקרא משכן, היה מראה לכל. We want to know more things, say Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Not only Moshe Rabbeinu was doing all the counting, make sure that all the Israelites, I agree, I didn't steal silver, didn't steal gold. More than that, it was Ruach HaKodesh, a voice came around the camp of Israel, and היה מראה לכל החשבון של הזהב וכסף. And the Ruach HaKodesh was counting. Ruach HaKodesh is not a physical thing, I don't know if you know. Ruach HaKodesh is a spirit, okay? Spirit that show everybody there, the whole calculation, שנדבו ישראל. So it was like a bar, that's showing you how much they're donating. They donate this much gold, this much silver, they show it. היה אומר, וכסף פקודי הידיים מעט כיכר כסף, they show you everything, כל הזהב, משום שהקדוש ברוך הוא, why God has to do it? That's a question that the Zohar really asks. Why is God asked to make sure that Ruach HaKodesh will go ahead and count at the front of Bnei Israel? Moshe Rabbeinu already counted. He proved that he's not a thief. So everybody's quiet. Now Ruach HaKodesh has to speak. What's the story with that? Mishum, listen carefully, it's a very important part. שהקדוש ברוך הוא רצה בהם, באלו האומנים, ורצה להראות נאמונתם לפני הכל. It says because God wants those artists that build the Mishkan to be liked by everyone, to be רצויים, okay? באלו האומנים, ורצה להראות נאמונתם לפני הכל. And you want to see that they are faithful in front of everybody. I want you to focus on the one word there. משום שהקדוש ברוך הוא רצה בהם. Sometimes people come and they say, I'm not successful in my business. I'm not successful in my marriage. I'm not successful in this and that and different problems that they have. Go back to that pasuk, משום שהקדוש ברוך הוא רצה בהם. God wanted to happen in a certain way, and what will be a certain way? That they will be desired by everybody as basically as a great artist. Not great artist meaning from a point of artist, from a point of being faithful toward the Mishkan as they are artists. So, בואו ראה, בשעה היא שנעשתה עבודת משכן, היה סמך א', סמך א' is the dark force, the negative force, הולך ומשוטט להסתין. The negative was going around to find out what's wrong with the people. ולא מצא עילה על אמונת האומנים. He tried to find out why they take a little silver, maybe the powder, maybe, when you go to 47, sometimes when they have to divide the diamond or emerald, something like that, they have to rethink how to cut it. I don't know if you know how it works. So the cut has to be a certain way that they don't waste any piece. But sometimes if the artist is bad, they're going to cut it in a certain way that the piece is, let's go into the garbage. You collect all the garbage, you have a few stones, you have a little diamond here, little emerald there, a little ruby, you're good, you're doing well. So that's what the dark side was looking. עד שהקדוש ברוך הוא הכניע אותו לפני משה, הוא, הסמך א', עשה חשבון הנאמנות בעל כוחו. And he makes sure that he himself, the dark force himself, the יצר הרע himself, will do the counting himself, והראה נאמנות שלהם לפני הכל. And he proved to everybody that they are faithful. So we see Moshe Rabbeinu, then we see the Shekhinah or Ruach HaKodesh, And then we see the dark force. 3 of them agree that those people who build the Mishkan are tzaddikim. Nothing is wrong with them. What does that mean for you? You have a job, you have a business, you have something. Sometimes you get angry. People start to be suspicious of you. People don't like your job. People don't like what you accomplish for them. They don't think you're good enough. They complain. What do? We point a finger at the complainer. Who are the complainer? Did you ever think maybe, just maybe, by mistake, they're a messenger of God to tell you how you're going to make more money? Did you ever listen to the complainer? You know, Bill Gates said 20 years ago, no, even more than that one of the reasons he becomes so successful, he collects all the complaint about Microsoft. He just collect as much as complaint. He said, I become rich and successful because I actually listening to all the complaint. And what I did, I just fix all the complaint and I have a good business. A lot of time we like to get compliment because compliment feel good. It lasts for about 4.5 minutes, right? But somebody complain about you, this is important information. Somebody tell you, hey, listen, I love your business, but I don't like that the floor is not clean. Are you going to listen to them? Bad client. No, great client. You know what a bad client is? Somebody who ignore your business. Somebody doesn't tell you nothing. No good, no bad, but they never show up again. Ever. Somebody who walk into a restaurant. Think about it. Walk into a restaurant and they don't complain. Dangerous. They might never come back. But somebody who come and tell you, hey, listen, I like everything about your place. I hate the plate and I hate the fork. Great client. Don't let them go. Don't let them go. Make them sit next to you. What else can I fix? Because they for sure will become your client, your future client. Because once you fix that, they're with you forever. If you think about it, they're with you forever. But we get angry. That's what Hashem tried to show us here. So it's a beautiful thing. First, Moshe Rabbeinu. Meaning first, you are the boss. You are the owner of the business. You are Moshe Rabbeinu. Each one of you is Moshe Rabbeinu. Women, men, you run a business. So make sure that you tell everybody, this is what I do. My hands are clean. It's their choice if they want to see it or not. Second thing is the Shekhinah, meaning the Ruach HaKodesh. Meaning something magical need to happen that they will see it. Third, the dark side. What is the dark side? Their ego, their selfishness, their jealousy, their angry will start to see why what you do is good. Now, for all those 3 things need to happen, we need a magical moment. What is the magical moment? Let me read it again. Mishum shakadosh baruch hu ratza bahem. God wanted this way. So a lot of time people do the right thing in business and they go to business school and they go to the top business school and they're calculating everything so perfect. No money. And then you see another guy, doesn't know what he's doing, no good school, no nothing. Whatever they touch, Baruch Hashem, gold is coming. Why? Mishum shakadosh baruch hu ratza bahem. Please remember this verse. God wants them to be okay. Now, why? What do we do? I mean, I would like to be part of that. Shakadosh baruch hu ratza otanu. Everybody in this room want to say, hey, where is the course to sign in for the idea that Kadosh Baruch Hu rotze oti? Kadosh Baruch Hu choose me. I'll tell you what. Today was Chodesh Adar. So I gave a short lecture to a group of people. So I say Adar. Adar is Aleph Dar. It's based on Rav Brandwein and Rav Ashlag. So they say Adar. Aleph stands for Alufo Shel Olam, meaning the creator. Dar, meaning is living in it, meaning is inside this mass. But in the Talmud, in Masechet Sotah, if I'm not mistaken, Amudei, it says that when somebody has a gava, somebody has an ego, Hashem said, "En ani ve'hu yicholim ladur b'dira achat." Me and him cannot be in the same apartment. So from here we learn, if you want to know what is make Hashem ratza bahem, work on one thing. Don't work on too many things. You want to work on one thing on your spirituality. Gava. Gava. How do you work on Gava? Baruch Hashem, there are so many books. You can take the Ramchal. Okay, Mesilat Yesharim. Great book. Great book. Focus on the section of Yaga. Sefer Yonah. Another one. Reshit Chochmah. There's so many books on Musar. Just work on the Gava. It's not really a big deal to understand it, but I will tell you, it's a very big deal to do it. You can read the book, get excited, but then come the real part. Now we really have to do it. When you really have to do it, that's the real work. And then Hashem will send you the wrong people. Why Hashem send you the wrong people to see? Are you really working on it? If Hashem send you only the right people, what's going to happen? You're not going to grow. So Hashem send you all the one who's lost, a mistake, mistaking you for somebody else. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. People will blame you for stealing. People will blame you for stealing. I remember one time, I'm passing in a city, it's called Ramat Gan in Israel, and there was a gang that stole something. It was 3 guys that stole something from the store, and I'm just looking at the chocolate. So the police arrive, say, hands up. So why? What happened? I said, you're part of those guys. What happened? Where are they? Where they live? I said, but I'm not. And I tried to explain to them for 1.5 hours, I'm not. But Baruch Hashem, that's a cleansing. So when something like this happened to you that it seemed not fair, it's cleansing for the neshama, Baruch Hashem. If you accept it, it's cleansing for the neshama. I want to take you to another part here. And there is something that happened in this week, Parsha, that actually awakening the dark side, which is counting. The whole parasha is counting. We know that counting is forbidden. I don't know if you know that, but for example, if you're Persian, any Persian here? No Persian. You're Persian, Parsi, Baruch Hashem. So Persian usually don't like to count things twice. I don't know if you know that. So, Persian, I mean, if you're Isfahani, it's even more. So Persian usually don't count the money because they're afraid of Ain Hara. So if you ask them, how many kids you have? We have 3 berachah. You have 3 blessings. That's it. They don't say 3 kids, 3 berachah.
How the Moroccans say it?
I don't know. Hamza, yes. Anyway, so the whole idea, if you think about it, counting is a problem. We learned it from King David. When King David counted his soldiers before the war, they die, unfortunately. Because instead of counting them, he should give them a coin or half a coin, something called machatzit shekel, and through that, they will survive. Here at the Pikudei, we're counting. Everything, we're counting. This, Gemea, Za'av, and Kesef. We keep counting. This is inviting the dark side. First question, why when we're counting, it brings negativity? And second, why we counting here at Pikudei? So for the first thing, what's counting? Counting meaning you bring a limitation into a situation. When you bring limitation, unfortunately, that brings negativity into it. Every time there is a limitation, what is limitation? I want to make $100 million. This is a good number, right? $100 million, that's good enough for us. That's our limit. We don't want more than 100 million. 100 million is good enough. This is my limit. Yeah, you put a circle, that's my goal. It's a limit. So you're bringing Ain Hara into it. So how much you want to make? You cannot live in this world. Well, you don't want to say numbers. You want to keep it open. You want to keep that circle of goals open. So you want to say, I would like to be, famous, or I would like to be fast, or I would like to lose weight. But general idea, but don't go into details. Second question is, why Pikudei they allowed to count? And let's see what the Zohar telling us here. And the Zohar starts with the story. I don't know if you're familiar with the story with Eliyahu Navi. And the story goes like this. Vayidvar Hashem el Eliyahu. Hashem speaking to Eliyahu Navi, to Eliyahu, the Elisha the prophet. I put a woman there that she's a widow, she will take care of you money-wise. Shoel, וכי איפה ציווה לה הקדוש ברוך הוא? Where is it that God commanded her to do that? משיב לה, מטרם שיבוא לעולם ציווה הקדוש ברוך הוא בגזירה שלא לבעלה. Before Elisha the prophet was born, he made sure that there is a woman to take care of him. שתיתן מזון לאליהו. מה כתוב? ותאמר חי השם אלוקיך, אם יש לך לקף קמח, והרי כאן הייתה מדידה בקמח ההוא. How can that be? I don't know if you know the story. Eliyahu Navi is meeting a widow, they're taking care of him financially, everything. Now the question is, how can that be that she measure basically a spoon of flour? Once you measure, there is no blessing. But we know whatever happened after. That jar of flour never ends. It keeps flowing and it keeps flowing. Like the rabbi, I forget the name of the rabbi. What's the name of that rabbi with the challah roll? Forget, there is a story with the challah roll. Forgot. Anyway, והראו שלא תשרנה פה ברכות, מפני שעומד במידה. למה? Why is that it lasts forever? וכתוב, כד הקמח לא קלטה, וצפחת השמן לא חסר, כדבר השם, אשר דיבר ביד אליהו. וכי אם קמח הוא שעמד במדידה, שעמל לקמח, ואם כל זה לא נפסקו ברכות ממנו. The question that the Zohar asks, how can that be that you counting something and the blessing continue to flow. Mishum adibur shel Eliyahu. Said because Elisha the prophet, as his power of words, shekatuv kad akemach lo tichle. Words has power. Did you know that? Words has power. I hear people sometimes say, I had a bad day, or I had a bad week, or I had a bad month. What is that? I mean, I didn't know the months can be bad. I didn't know the day can be bad. I didn't know the hour can be bad. You are experiencing a negative time within a great time. You can say that. That's okay. But you cannot call the day a bad day. Don't speak Lashon Hara on a day. I have a bad day, or this is a bad day. This is never a bad day. It's always a good day. Every day is a good day. Every month is a great month. But I'm experiencing right now a negative day. What about Tisha B'Av? Tisha B'Av. What didn't happen at Tisha B'Av? To temple, Inquisition, the final solution with the Nazi. So what is that Tisha B'Av? If you go to the Arizal in Shara Kavanot, when he talk about Tisha B'Av, what he write there, he's asking, so we're supposed to say Chag Sameach or not? He asked that question. Is it Chag or not Chag? And he said, yes, she's supposed to say Chag Sameach. How come? It's the worst day for the Jewish people. The worst day, Tisha B'Av. Everybody know. So he said like that. What exactly happened with the temple? Instead of all the Jewish people will die, Ipil Chamato ba'avanim ve'ba'etzim. He said that God put his anger on the temple so the Jewish people will not die. So for that point of view, it's a holiday. So why we sit on the floor? Well, what do we do? What do we do in the next day? In the afternoon, we actually take the bench and we start sitting in a regular way. But why at 2 o'clock? Why at noontime is okay? At noontime, it was when the temple destroyed, not in the nighttime. It happened in the noontime. To tell you, God, instead of taking care of you to go bad, he makes sure that his own temple will be destroyed. וכתיב כך, הקמח לא קלטה. משכן העדות, אף על פי שעמד בחשבון, כיוון שנפקד על ידי משה, the same thing the tabernacle. Because the tabernacle was counted by Moshe Rabbeinu, by Moses, like the כד הקמח, like the jar of flour was counted by Elisha the prophet, that's why nothing can happen to it. ששורות בו ברכות. אין לפקודי משכן, משכן העדות אשר פוקד על פי משה. So because Moshe Rabbeinu was involved, everything is okay. The question is, we are not Moshe Rabbeinu. So what do? You made good money today. Baruch Hashem, you made $20,000, $20 million, I don't know, $2,000, $20, $200, okay? You make something today. So what is that you're supposed to feel? Are you supposed to be Moshe Rabbeinu and say Baruch Hashem? Or there is maybe a style of how to do it? So the Zohar continue and say that there is a way to count and there is a way to count. And the Zohar relating it to something called Binah. I'm going to draw something on the board. If you're not going to understand it, don't worry about it. I'm going to do the best I can to explain it. And if you don't, no problem. It's not a big deal. There is something in Kabbalah they call the Sefirot. I'm sorry for that. I know they want me online. Yeah, sorry. So there is something in Kabbalah that called the Sefirot. What is Sefirot basically? So let's put C here, okay? The Creator. So the Creator is shine through something that called, you don't have to memorize it, okay? Something called Ein Sof. Let's call it the light, okay? Light. And that part, okay, from here down, this is not the old details, but I have to give you something. So there is, let's say, this will be called Keter, okay? And it's going all the way, and below that, let's say, we write everything, Choch, Ma, and below that, those of you who know, Bina. Below that there is something called ZA, which includes 6 Sfirot, okay? Ze'er Anpin. Don't be afraid of the words if you never saw it before. I'm sorry. And then we have Mal Malchut. Okay? Malchut, this is the receiver, this in the bottom. Basically, when you count, everything that you count has to do with this level. Has to do with the level of Malchut. What is the level of Malchut? Malchut has to do with physicality. Everything which is physicality. This word, everything that we do. It's called Asiyah if you want. It's called in Hebrew, it's called Asiyah. It's the old word of Asiyah. Meaning the whole idea, la'asot. Everything that you're going to be tested by in this world is how you do. Words mean nothing. Words mean nothing. I love you. I miss you. I care for you. Hey, can I get you to help me with peeling some potato? No. Powerful words, right? Powerful words. No, it was a strong no. Action. Remember, in the end of the day, action. You don't have action, it's called asiyah, or it's called malchut. You have nothing. So the whole flow of the light of the Creator, Ein Sof, light, going through all that. Why do we need the sfirot? Why do we need those filters? What's the purpose of it? The purpose of the sfirot, because if you connect directly to that, you're going to get burned. It's like, I have a dream to build a tent on the sun. It's a great dream. You know, take the tent. Or I would like to do yoga. What's the name of that yoga with the heat? I would like to do Bikram yoga on the sun. It's not hot enough in the studio. I got to go to, impossible. So you got to go through filters. Those are filters until it's arrived to you. Basically, if you want to know where we are about here, okay? That's where humanity is. Not all details, but that's where we are in the bottom. What happened to us on Shabbat? On Shabbat, we're going up. We're going up. That's why it's called Lo techalelu et Shabbat. Don't make the Shabbat halal. Halal means it's not halal like the meat, meaning that part on Shabbat get cancelled. That can cancel, and this all elevator going up. So this become halal, this become empty. So if a person doesn't do the Shabbat in the right way, he gets stuck here, and the elevator is elevating itself. So just keep it in mind. I'm giving you a lot of information, but the main thing about it is to remember that the counting of Moses, the counting of Eliyahu Navi, Elijah the prophet, didn't happen here. It happened here. Now this place represent mercy. This place represent judgment. So Moses, Elijah the prophet, was able to elevate himself to Binah. What does that mean? I would like to elevate to Binah. What does that mean, even the Binah? What is Binah? Binah means mercy. Binah means mercy. Now we have to translate and what mercy means. It means to forgive my father, to forgive my mother, to forgive my brother and sister. What does mercy mean? Mercy means that you are coming from everything with kindness. You not start counting things from a place of judgment. The question is that I have to explain to you, what is the difference between counting from judgment and basically counting for mercy? And I'm going to read to you what the Zohar say about it. I hope this information will not confuse you. I just want to share it with you so it will be more than just normally we are saying. So you say, הרי האמנו שהברכה אינה שורה, I'm sorry, thank you, we'll say that one. הרי האמנו שהברכה אינו שורה בדבר העומד במידה ובדבר העומד בחשבון. אם כאן במשכן, למה היה הכל בחשבון? You say, we just say it's impossible to count, everything's not supposed to be this way. אמר לו, הרי למדנו, אבל בכל מקום שצד הקדושה שורה עליו, הנמשך מקו אמצעי, ואכן דיבית שמאל, אם החשבון בא מצד קדושה, שורה עליו ברכה תמיד. If something comes from the holy side, you don't have to worry about counting it. Now, what is a holy thing? Does it mean I have to put a yarmulke on my store, or a yarmulke on my sweater? What does that mean, קדושה? ואינה עוברת ממנו, מאין לנו, ממעשר. משום שבא החשבון לקדש, נמצא בו הברכה. כל שכן, המשכן שהוא קודש, הוא בא מצד הקודש. So I'm going to teach you an example. מעשר. You know what מעשר is? מעשר mean, thank you for reminding me. Okay? מעשר. What is מעשר basically? How much percent is מעשר? Who know?
10%.
10%. People who want to do more, it's 20. 50. So, מעשר. How many sfirot there is?
7.
10. Very good. So, this is 1, This is 2, this is 3. Remember I said to you, this is times 6. So it's 1, 2, 3 plus 6, 9, and Malchut. What is Maaser exactly? You take the part of your money that is damaging your business and you give it away. I repeat, damaging your business. So people sometimes do Maaser and they call it tzedakah. What a mistake. Maaser is a must. It's not a choice. What about the poor person? You give them $10 today. Ader chayav b'maaser? Yes. They have to give $1. Maaser is a must. What about they give you a gift for your birthday? Somebody give me a gift for my birthday. $200. $20 gotta go away. $20 is not yours. Gotta give it away. Why? What's the reasoning? That area called Malchut, it's like a snake. It can climb into the rest of the money. It can climb to Zeranpin, to Binah, to Chokmah, to Keter. You don't want it. I don't want the Maaser. I don't want it. I don't want the Maaser. Take it away from me. I don't want it. Tzedakah is not the same. Truma is also not the same. Truma has to do with Tarum Hei. Remember the Hei of Malchut, Tarum. Maaser is Eser, meaning is the thing. And I know people go by the Gemara and they say, Aser shetit asher, meaning you give 10% and you will be rich. Maybe you will, maybe you're not. I mean, don't test God, please. Don't play God and say, I'm here to test God. No, you have to give Maaser. It's part for you. It's not part of God. God doesn't need your Maaser and the poor person doesn't need your Maaser. Nobody needs your Maaser. The idea is for you. You look at your money, always remember, 10th of it, it's not yours. Now, people ask me, it's before tax or after tax? After tax, okay? After tax, before expenses, if you want to know the halachot on that. So it's very important to understand why the Zohar said, you want to count things correctly, count it with Maaser. So go and count how much money you make this year. 400,000, very nice, 400,000, 40,000, gotta go away. Now remember, as the money go up, it's more difficult to give. As the money go up, it's more difficult to give. All of you are big shot when you have no money, but the real test happens when you do have money. When money starts to become good, you have a good month, you have a good year, you have a good life, and you start making a lot of money. What happened when you make a lot of money? The ratzon lekabel, meaning the desire to receive of you and the money, you have a strong relationship now. It's very hard to let go. Very hard to let go of that. But remember, the practice, if you have a certain issue, please don't share it with everybody, and you feel you're born stingy, let's say. Some people born like that. Shlomo HaMelech talk about it. וגם אני ראיתי מחלה תחת השמש. שלמה המלך, that's what Shlomo said. What is the מחלה? מחלה is קמצנות. He called it מחלה. Being קמצן, being cheap, or being stingy, it's not a bad person. If you see some people who are stingy, they're not bad people. It's a sickness. It's a sickness. They cannot help it. They can just kill it. They cannot. They see a tomato is about to die, they resurrect, they do CPR to the tomato, the little piece, and whatever. It's a thing. It's a thing, you know? I grew up with parents, I don't want to say they were stingy, but I grew up with parents that everything has to be seriously checked before it goes to the garbage. It went through a lot of process before it arrived to the garbage. And I believe it's staying me. And sometimes I don't know how to let it go, but it's be careful. And if I wouldn't meet my wife, I would be stuck with that. I remember when I married Debbie, she come to my closet, and many people give me gifts. They give me a tie. I had about 150 tigers. That's maybe why I'm done. And jacket. And she told me, when the last time you wear those beautiful things you have that people give you? I said, eventually I will. I will. So what about this shirt? When the last time? I said 2 years ago. I said 2 years ago and it's here. I said, listen. So she said, listen, there is a few chevre, there is a few people that don't have what you have. She took it. She took like 3 bags of, garbage bag, put it in. I'm talking about, if you know, company like Versace or something, like expensive thing. Put it, and she started going around for people who don't have it. Everybody started to get dressed. And I remember whenever I go in the shul, it's my tie, it's my shirt, it's my jacket. She told me, stop. Just stop, let it go. You must work and let it go. And if you have that issue I born with, you gotta practice that. Or you gotta talk to Debbie. Okay, you gotta practice the idea of letting go. I'm telling you, it's so important to do that let go of thing. You feel fresh, you feel young, you feel better about yourself. The 10%, don't let it fool you. Now, don't test God when you do that. Don't play game with that. If 1 month you decided to give the maaser, go for it. Don't expect nothing. Just go for it. And don't ask me who you give it to. Be more creative with that. Go to Shulchan Aruch. It's on digital. And the Shulchan Aruch will help you to choose who you're going to give it to. So, but the giving part is the practice. And after that, it will get better. Why? Because that's how you connect to the Kedusha. When you're counting for Kedusha, I'm counting how much money I made this year. Why am I counting it? Because I want to know how much to give. But if I'm counting it for Malchut level, I want to know how much I have. That's how much I have. That's how much I need to give. Two different levels of consciousness. Two different way of thinking. I want to know how much I have. How much I need to give. Those two levels make a difference. That make you happy. That make you miserable. But you're going to have more money, by the way. You're going to have extra amount of money, but you'll be miserable. Miserable with money, less amount of money, 10% less, but more happiness. I think it's a good investment. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. This is up to you. Let me move on to another thing, and I think then I want to do a little short, maybe meditation with you or something like that. But I want to share with you, in the Zohar of Pikudei, there is a lot of the old secret of angels. Many pages. So I want to give you a flavor of what it is. And remember, all the angels that exist in the world with all their name, those of you who read Aramaic or Hebrew, it exists online on Sefaria. You can go on Sefaria, go into the Zohar, and read every angel what it does. Every angel. I'm talking about millions of them. Every angel. Just invest some time. All what you have to do is sit. If you don't know how to read Hebrew or Aramaic, have Israeli person, there's a few Israelis, they will help you. They will be more happy to help you. Get them next to you and say to you, what's written here? And then read it together. But I would like to read to you a short section here from Taf Kuf Lamed, which is 930. And I would like to read to you a section. What? What's the question? Oh. Can you speak English so everybody can be part? Speak English. What did you ask again? What happened?
He was curious to know what is your background.
My background is Israeli. So.
What kind of Israeli?
Yeah. Israeli. Anyway, so I would like to share with you that part. Look at that, what it's written here. I cannot say all the names that have been mentioned here because it's forbidden to say those names, they are heavy duty, but I can tell you the story. ואחר כך יש כאן אלו רוחות המשוטטות בעולם. There is spirit that going around the world, ואלו עומדים לעשות ניסים לבני אדם. There is spirit that creating miracle for humanity. They're going around and looking for you how they can create miracle for you. Can you imagine you walking around, we don't see them, we don't think they're there. We're going into the doubts, we're going to negativity. כל כך מועכים, ורוח אחד ממונה עליהם, there is one in charge of that thing. I cannot say the name, but I can spell the letter to you. His name is basically Nesria. That's his name, please do not say the name. So that in charge, that minister that in charge of all the angels, is in charge about your miracle time. Are you going to have miracle? How the miracle going to take a place? כי הוא ננסר ונחלק באלו צדדים הטבעים ביותר, ואלו פורחים באוויר ומחלישים הצד שלהם הטמא, כדי לעשות לאלה שהם בצד הקדושה. It's telling us how miracle take a place. Miracle, from here, it's not what we think miracle is. We think miracle is something positive that happened to you. You know what he say miracle is? The Zohar said, miracle is to remove the negative thing that disturbing you from having what you meant to be having. It's a very weird way of looking at miracle. We think this is the zero, miracle is plus 5, plus 6, plus 25. No, miracle, look what he say. He say, נחלק בין לו הצדדים הטבעים ביותר, he's taking the worst thing around you, the most טמא, the most negative thing, ואלו פורחים באוויר, he push them away, ומחלישים הצד שלהם הטמא, and he make them weak, כדי לעשות ניסים, לאלו שהם בצד הקדושה. Meaning you, each one of us deserve miracle every day. But we're not going to have miracle until we remove the tum'ah. What is tum'ah? what is impurity. What is exactly impurity? How do a person become impure? We know that the Torah talk a lot in Parashat Metzorah, Tazria. It's talking about the whole idea of impurity. יהיה מחוץ למחנה. It says that the person has leprosy. We have to push him away from the camp, and he has to sit in that village that everybody is leper. Everybody's sitting there. They all have issues. Can you imagine? The whole village is sitting there, and they leper, and they talk to each other. What happened? What's the purpose of it? The purpose of it, to say the Zohar, when a person go to that village, they start thinking about, what is it I'm doing wrong? That was the purpose of the Area Metzoraim. That we can look internally and find out what is that I need to change, what is that I need to work on. So the Tameh, how do you become Tameh? How do a person become Tameh? So of course, Lashon Hara, for example, speaking bad about people, that we all, bli hara, we're so good at it. Bli hara. We're so good. You go to a wedding, what are you going to do? You ate already the fish, you have a l'chaim. Now what are you going to do? The next thing, blah, 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 blah. I know the bride, I know the groom, I know the chatanim, I know the imma, shel abba, and they borrow the money from the bank, they don't really reach, they don't. We have, you see the Brit, I know the Moel, last time he took too much money. Why? Why? Because what's wrong with Lashon Hara? That the punishment of Lashon Hara is one of the worst punishment in hell, in Gehenom. What is with Lashon Hara? It doesn't seem like a big deal. Yes, you're hurting two people, you're hurting three people, you, yourself, the other person, you hurt it for everybody. Manners-wise, we understand. But why Lashon Hara? Not from a manners point of view. From religious, from spiritual point of view, what is about Lashon Hara that it's such a negative thing? Huh? Yes, but more than that, what was the first thing that spoke Lashon Hara in our universe? Very good. The snake. How do you say Nachash in Farsi?
מה זה?
Nachash in Farsi, how do you say? You don't know Farsi anymore, huh? Mud? Mar? Like her? Wow, mar mean in Hebrew bitter. Wow, I'm very...
אני פרסי כמו שאתה ישראלי.
כן,
בדיוק אותו דבר.
אני מעריך.
אבל אני הולך 10 דורות אחורה בירושלים. יש הבדל בינינו.
אני מקווה שלא תיתן לי את כל המגילה עכשיו.
אני אתן לך את כל המגילה.
אנחנו צריכים לגמור פה את השיעור, אתה יודע. So anyway, so the snake was the first creature to speak Lashon Hara. So every time a person speaks Lashon Hara, what happened? You connect to the snake. At that moment, you connect to the snake. That's why it's so bad. It's so bad, it's not because of what you say about people. So what if you say about people? We're all negative from time to time. But because every time your mouth is open and your tongue speaking negative, that activating the snake again. That's why it's so bad. So remember, those malachim that want to do miracle for you, nisim, that malach, all what you have to do is, I'm not saying just Lashon Hara, there is other area to be tahor, but that's one of the worst one. One of the worst one is speaking bad about people, which we all fall into it. If somebody tell you they don't fall into it, they don't speak it. We all, unfortunately, and now I'm speaking bad about people. We all falling into it, as you see I just did. And the idea is, the danger of it is that we awakening the snake. And awakening the snake is dangerous. Now, there is two types of Lashon Hara. There is people like me that talk about it open and say, whoops, what have I done? And there is the dangerous one. The one that Lashon Hara is a regular thing in their life. The one in Lashon Hara is a regular thing. I would recommend to you, those of you who live in a house and live in an apartment, if you somehow cannot help it, you're addicted to Lashon Hara, you're kind of addicted to Lashon Hara, do yourself a favor. Get out of the house when you speak. Don't speak it inside the house. No matter what happened, get out. Get out. You have a business, get out when you speak it. Hey, I want to tell you some funny thing about my neighbor. Out of the house. Don't speak it in the house, because the house has that power that it's collecting it into the wall, into the ceiling, into the thing. Don't do it into your business. Don't do that. It brings negativity. Speak bad, out of the house. Wonderful, come back. Is that good? No, it's still bad. You're still going to be not tahor, not pure. But at least the house, when you come back to the house, at least the house will start taking care of you. Person might get sick for 2 days, 3 days. So it's cleansing. It's wonderful. It's cleansing. A lot of time we look at sickness as bad. Sometimes sickness is good. And the Zohar continue. בהיכל הזה, in that chamber where the negative force coming to attack, יש טומאה. There is in that chamber טומאה. אוקיי, בכל שעה ורגע אש, ואין מי שיקום לפניו. מכאן יוצא אש של רוח חזק, למטה לדון בו רשעי העולם. מכאן יוצא רוח לוהט, שהוא אש ושלג, הנקרא, I cannot say the name of the angels, אוקיי? ובהיכל הזה נמצאים דלת פתחים. And in that chambers, those of you who want to continue to read after, it's in verse 930. There is a whole section about those miracles and how it happened. And now we need to basically protect ourselves that step by step we'll be able to get out of the tum'ah. What about jealousy? Does jealousy make you tameh? Well, jealousy is a problem. You know what the punishment for jealousy, right? Did you ever think about the punishment for jealousy? You know? You want to know? Yeah. Punishment for jealousy is jealousy itself.
It's a sickness.
That's a punishment. Punishment of jealousy, remember, is jealousy itself. You know how bad it is? The person can never be happy. It's a sad. I don't know if you ever met a person like that. I'm not talking about somebody who's there is jealousy for wisdom. That's a positive jealousy. That's how you grow. קנאת סופרים. קנאת סופרים תרבה חוכמה. Very good. When you get jealous for the sake somebody is smarter than you or somebody is better than you in the Torah, that jealousy is healthy because it's motivates you to grow. But sometimes there is different type of jealousy, dangerous one. The dangerous one, your friend has a better car than you and you don't have a good car. You're jealous. What does that jealousy say? I want their car to be like mine. I don't want my car to be like theirs. Do you understand? We want them to go low. I don't think of me going up. I'm thinking of them coming down to me. And that's a problem. Somebody make $1 million and you're hardly making $90,000. You look at them and say, they make $1 million. I can't believe it. What do you want them to go to right now? You want them to make 90 or you want yourself to make 1 million? And this is an attitude in the mind. You gotta fight for never, never, never. Never, no matter what happened, jealousy, don't let ever jealousy go to your mind. It's a killer. It's the worst thing that can happen to you. You're killing yourself. You're never going to be happy even if you have everything. You're always going to see somebody better than you. Some people walk to a fancy apartment, okay, and they say, oh my God, I wish I had that. I wish I had this, and that's the view, and that's it. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You know? And then you go home, I cannot believe he doesn't deserve it. What do they think they are? You're killing your potential. You just, once again, you just killed your potential. But if you go to the apartment and say, wow, this is an amazing apartment, I gotta learn from that guy how to do it. I wanna learn from them. I wanna learn, I want you to influence me. I want you to teach me. I want you to guide me how to do it. You are so successful, teach me. Humble yourself, teach me. Teach me, what did you do right that I'm not doing it? So then you sit, you humble yourself, you show everything. That type of jealousy will actually motivate you to grow. For that reason, if you know in Pirkei Avot, they say that there is 3 things that get you out of the olam. Yafeh. It says that 3 things get you out of this world. Tava, lust, kavod, looking for honor and pride, and jealousy. Ravash like take this verse and make a twist to it. Look what a Ravash like does. He say olam, the word olam in war, W-O-R-D, olam meaning population, all the population of the olam, 8 billion people. How do you define people? You have to look at the ta'ava. Somebody who has ta'ava, meaning lust, become rich. That's what the Ravash like write. It's amazing. Somebody who's looking for kavod, become gibor. Somebody who's looking for jealousy, become chacham. So Ravash like take this old verse and make it actually positive. Instead of make it negative, and make it positive. And then he write down after that. And people who have sometimes they're jealous, sometimes they have lust, sometimes they want pride, he called them a broken vessel. they're never going to make it. And he said, why they're never going to make it? Because they never truly sit on one thing and really go for it. That's what Kabbalistic wrote. And think about it for a second. What do you want? What is more important for you for those three? And don't be ashamed of it. I mean, if you go to religiosity, it's kind of embarrassed. Pirkei Avot say it. We should not have tava. You have tava. You have. It's got to be one food that when you smell it, you want it. You have tava. Or it's got to be a certain tava that you have. The question is, why are you born with that tava? Hashem give you the tava inside of you. Why is that your power? So tava molida kesef. It gives birth to a money. Somebody with no tava cannot make money. You cannot make money. So don't even think about being rich if you don't have lust. L-U-S-T. This is malchut.